Trump, are you ready to go to jail? President
As media member Sophie Alexander asks a question, pay attention to this man.
President Trump!
She would be accosted after being booted from former President Trump's photo op at the Versailles Cafe in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, the guy who screamed "stupid" in her face as she was leaving the building. Now, myself and many others were like, who is this guy? And sometimes with stuff like this, by the time it makes it to me, the internet has already been interneting. And it didn't take people a real long time to find our friend here. Because Miami Against Fascism posted, "Say hello to the traditional Catholic, Michael Caputo." And Michael, it would appear, is a communications officer for Americano Media. But perhaps my favorite part of all of this is the fact that Michael should certainly see this post. Because on Twitter, Michael follows me. Hi, Michael.
Tizzy was then informed of who he was. So the Party of Family Values goes after a female reporter. That's what we're seeing. Caputo is known for being a giant pile of garbage. He previously made outlandish and false accusations that career government scientists were engaging in sedition in their handling of the pandemic and that left-wing hit squads were preparing for armed insurrection after the election. A man who is and has made his duty to be a disinformation expert on behalf of Donald Trump would mock the reporter on Twitter.
Sadly, I don't think that Americano Media that touts no mas fake news is really going to care or be surprised by Michael's behavior. And even if there is some backlash, I think it's probably going to rank lower on the list of bad things that have happened to Michael.
Americano Media. What exactly is that? Politico has the write-up. It launched in March, and it's embarking on an aggressive expansion plan to shape center-right Hispanic opinion during the election cycle. The network hired more than 80 Latino journalists and producers, and they're expanding upon what they have done in radio and television. They also have a ton of money, which is par for the course when it comes to the right wing. The network's own CEO would say this, and I think puts it rather well. To give you an idea of the product, we don't have a Fox News in Spanish, and that's what Americano intends to be. So there you have it right there. They are trying to become the Spanish Fox News.
Fucking! Get out of here! Vete pa carajo!
Now, on the Caputo front, here he is with alleged sex offender Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan of Ohio, who was alleged to have covered up sex abuse at Ohio State within the wrestling program, and Roger Stone, which is pretty interesting because he is essentially, as one reporter put it, the protégé to Roger Stone. The Bucks County Beacon's Jenny Cohn would write in a thread researching Caputo. He worked in Ukraine supporting a pro-Russian politician who was suspected of ordering the beheading of a journalist. He falsely testified he had met with no Russians in 2016 and was appointed to Trump to HHS after saying the Chinese suck rabid bats. He worked with Russian proxies on a propaganda documentary that aired on far-right Trump outlet OAN, formed a MAGA quick reaction force, which I'll tell you about in a second, which included a website that he deleted after calling a woman a dog face. On that reaction force, it would show threats to members of the media saying all it takes for them is to push a button to send their goons in on said media member. And the Daily Beast would write of Caputo, Putin's image fixer, the only executive who has worked for both the White House and the Kremlin. And on top of this, his previous employment was with Gazprom. They say we need to protect women. They say we need to protect women's sports. They say they are the party of family values, and yet they keep showing you every single time that anything that they say they are for, they are actually against.